Hey friends, this is what my client's past set looked like. If you want to see this design, it's actually up on YouTube. She ended up having to go extra time because she was away. So I think she went 4 weeks instead of 3, and her nails are still in good condition. This is the design she sent me that she wants to try. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try in acrylic. I'm an acrylic nail tech, and acrylic is my specialty. So, and she likes acrylic, so I'm not going to do black gel. I'm going to do all black acrylic and glitter and everything. And this video will be in real time, like all my videos have been lately. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So what we're going to do first is file her nails down. So I'm just starting on her natural nail. I wasn't sure what she wanted yet before she said, like, we hadn't decided if she was going lighter or if she was going to stick with black or something dark. So I was just filing down here, and then I was going to remove her nails if she showed me something white or something. But she decided to go dark. So in the end, I'm just going to file these thin, and we're going to apply on top. In her next appointment, she is switching to something really light, and we're going to do a removal then. So I'm filing down thin. She has a little bit of a nude and clear base under here. So I'm just going to file to that thin base at the tip. I'm not going to be able to file all of it off because she's had these nails on for quite a while. So she's got a lot of color buildup of black. So I'll show you guys how thin I can get it in a bit. At this point, we have decided we are sticking with a dark theme. So I'm just shortening her nails a bit, and I'm going to clean them up, filing underneath, trying to even everything out so they come straight out from the side walls. After you go a few weeks, your nails tend to get unbalanced, the shape gets off, and now I have to completely rebalance while color changing. So that's what we're going to do. So this set does end up taking me 2 hours and 45 minutes. It probably would have just been faster to remove them and restart, to be honest. But I'm going to show you guys, if you didn't want to remove and restart and you just wanted to keep the nails on, how to do that. So here I am just filing down, filing under, and then filing on top. And that is how I clean these up and get the shape with my file back. I'm going to also hand file into shape, and we will prep the cuticle area as well. Let's skip to prep here. I'm going to push the skin back. So this is really important if you want nails to last. So prep is how you get your acrylic and gel to stick to the natural nail. So I am pushing the skin, and I'm kind of going in circular motions to cause the skin that's attached to the nail to come up. Do you guys see that white skin right there that's coming up when I scrape? So I'm scraping in a circular motion, pushing the skin back, and then I'm going to flip my tool and use the scraper on the back to help pull that up before I go in with a e-file. So sometimes you'll see people using just a sanding band and quickly going around, but I find that that is not enough to get all the skin. As you can see, she has a lot of buildup here. So some clients have a lot more buildup than other clients. And yeah, so you want to do better prep on clients like that. So here I am still scraping. You can see all that white skin coming up. That all has to go. Like acrylic and gel will not stick to that. So I'm going to be using this e-file bit. I got this from Get Buffed Nails. I really like this bit. It's a diamond bit, it's soft and gentle. I'm just going around the cuticle area. You can also reverse it and go around the other way. It's really gentle. You're not going to cut your client with this, and it's just going to help remove that skin. And then I'm switching to this tool. This is also from Get Buff Nails. It's one of my favorite tools for getting really deep into that side wall that you might have missed with your last tool. You can see that extra skin come up there, and that was missed. So this tool is great for that. Super gentle. You can't cut with this because it doesn't have a pointy edge. It's just great. Highly recommend. And then I'm switching to this buffing tool to push the skin out of the way and kind of buff everything. And then after that, we can cleanse and wipe and get rid of all the dust, because you need to get rid of the dust as well as the skin. So I'm going to reverse this to show you guys. I reverse as well just to get the skin out of the way on both sides. So that's what it looks like so far. We're going to brush the dust away as well as we can. You can see I can't remove all that color, but I'm going to try to show you guys how thin they are. It's kind of hard to do that, but here, there you go. You can see you can't really do any more or you're going to break it. So that's the best you could get when you're doing colored acrylic. It's not quite like gel, it's a little bit harder. So I'm going to be doing 2 full black nails. I want it to be nice and smooth, so I am applying a clear base down first. It'll also be easier when I do the removal next time. So you can see I pulled her skin back, and I just applied a really small bead, flattened it completely, pushed it up to the cuticle area, and tried to blend it down the nail. I want that nail to be nice and smooth before I go in with the black. It'll just be easier for application. So this nail is a glitter fade with the black at the tip. So I'm just applying the black down. This is Glitterball's Carbon Black. And then I'm gently dragging and pulling this down the nail. And to get that like blended faded look, I'm gonna clean off my brush, flip it upside down, and pull the color up the nail like that, right at the tip, just gently, like a quick feather motion. Now I'm just patting, trying to get full coverage and trying to make this nice and even while getting the color to be really square at the end. And that's how you get that crisp square end. You want to make sure all the color is even all the way along. Pat, pat, pat. See, I'm just patting and moving that product where I want it. It doesn't need to be perfect at the line there because we're going to be covering that with glitter. But I'm doing all the black first before we go in with the glitter. So that's how that looks. This nail was kind of a color blocking stitch. So I'm going in, applying that down, and then I'm just going to use my brush to move it where I want it and kind of carve it out. The glitter is gonna overlap slightly, and we're doing lines, so it doesn't need to be completely perfect. You don't need to file this line. So I'm just, you know, like if you were doing color blocking with colors, so if you were doing black and white, you'd want this to be as crisp as possible, so you do it thicker and then file the line. But I'm not doing that. I already knew that I was going to be able to get a crisp line just by using my brush. So I'm just applying that, letting it dry slightly, cleaning off my brush, and then carving my line, patting it into place. Once I get it where I want it on the tip, I'm gonna work upward. I didn't want to do the whole thing because I didn't want it to bleed into the cuticle area or anything. Black is actually quite difficult to work with. So I am just trying to work as clean as possible. So now I'm applying that bead. I'm using my hand to, for support, you can see, placing that down and moving it where I want it and gently pulling that down, trying to be careful not to make a mess. Cleaning off my brush, pushing where I want that right at the cuticle area, clean off my brush, turn it. You can see I've flattened my brush and made it nice and sharp. And then I'm using that sharpness to carve. And then I'm adding more black to fill it in. Cleaning up, pat, pat, pat. Gonna let that dry for a sec. And then carve in. Like I said, it's not gonna be completely perfect, but because we're gonna go in with glitter. Now we can work on the full black nail here. So I'm placing a bead. I'm not gonna start at the cuticle area because I don't want any bleeding. Black is difficult, like I said, to work with. So I like to start it on the tip, especially with extra long nails like this. So I'm placing the bead down and then cleaning off my brush and then bending her finger downward and letting gravity push the product. And then I'm just gently dragging and patting and pulling down the nail. Then I'm going to clean off my brush and then pat carefully on the side, wipe, and then pat the tip. Because like I said, you want to pat that tip to get it nice and clean and even so that you have a nice square tip and not a rounded bulbousy look, because that'll ruin the whole look. So I just kind of work on that for a little bit before I add. Since this nail, I want it to be a perfect clear black nail, I'm going to be taking my time to build this up and making it nice and perfect. Don't want any bubbles or dust or glitter in this. So that's why I didn't start with glitter. I'm starting with all the black. Okay, I'm picking up my next bead, placing it down. I'm not working the cuticle yet. I would if these nails were a little shorter, but I'm just trying to be really, really careful and apply really, really clean. So you can see me patting that, leaving a space, and then just going to get close into that and then pat this down, gently swipe the product. See, I'm trying to get it where I want it before swiping that product down. I'm bending the finger down using gravity, like I said, so it doesn't fall into the sidewalls, and then I'm pulling this down to attach the color to the bottom, making everything smooth and even and seamless. And you can see I haven't worked my cuticle area yet. It's nice and clean still. Pat, pat, pat. Wipe off my brush. Now I picked up a bead, placed it down, clean off my brush, and now I'm going to carefully work this cuticle area. Really, really cleaning off my brush there, pushing close, pushing up close, and patting it where I want it. Cleaning off my brush and carefully pushing this into that cuticle area. Trying not to overlap the skin, pulling the product down, and now using the tip of my brush there to get into the side. Right there. And then I clean off my brush, and I'm going to try to wipe the sides and the bottom. Make sure it's nice and even. And that is how it's done. Super, super slow and careful and in steps. So I just left that and did the other one. And now we're going back to the pinky here and the glitter. So the glitter I'm using is Glitter Balls Mercury. It is really cool. It is a white glitter, which is kind of hard to find, with like a little bit of iridescent glitters in it, but it also has these hollow and silver chunks in it, and it's just really pretty and cool. I really, really like it. So that's what we're using. It's, like I said, white and silver, so it has good coverage. So I'm gonna place that down where I wanted it. I'm just gonna leave that before I carve. The black is all dry, so you don't have to worry about that. And then placing this down, pushing towards the cuticle area, getting my cuticle bead in. Glitter's a little bit easier to work with than black, so I'm not like super worried about it. Just placing that down, pushing it where I want it, doing the side here, pushing that into the corner. Swipe gently, and now I'm patting everything to make it nice and even. And now I'm going to try and carve a little bit there. Clean off my brush, pat, 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 pat. Trying to make the tip nice and even. Wiping off any extra product, and then again carve. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a perfect line because we're going to be adding white over top anyway, a white line anyway, with spider gel actually, which also ends up being kind of difficult to work with. So after that, we're going to go to this nail, and this is our glitter fade. Like I said, this color is really great. It's a great glitter for coverage, so it is going to hide that messy black line. So I'm going to apply that along the line, flatten my brush, push it towards the sides, and then gently feather and blend down. I don't want this to go all the way down the nail. I just want it to go a little bit, like the photo that we had. I was patting that, trying to make it nice and even and a pretty fade. And then I'm patting it so it's nice and even and flat. And then we will work our cuticle bead in. So I'm picking up another bead, place that down, clean off my brush, wipe off my brush, and then push towards the cuticle area. I'm trying to clean off my brush again so that it is even and sharp, so I can clean up my cuticle area and get that pushed as close as possible, and to make a nice rounded even cuticle area with the glitter. And then I'm feathering it down into where I had already added glitter. This is a really pretty glitter. It's hard to see. It was kind of blurry, which is disappointing because this nail was super, super pretty. So on the thumb, I did this black blocking, but it was completely out of frame. But now it's in frame. So after that dried, I just used my brush. I'm not going to file that like I would if I was adding a colored acrylic, because like I said, this is going to do its job. And we are adding white, like I said. So I'm just applying this down, making it even, letting it dry a bit, and then I will push it up. I'm gonna let that dry, wipe off my brush, and then I'm going to try to make it nice and even before letting it dry and working again, because we're gonna be adding black underneath. And pat, 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 pat. Let dry. I kind of have to wait a bit on this one. Just sitting there and patting it into place. Making it nice and even. And then again, I'm going to carve everything. When it comes to encapsulating, especially a full black nail, you don't want any bubbles or anything. So I did swipe the tip with the monomer first, and then I'm applying a bead that's wet over that. I'm just going to drag that down, making sure there's no bubbles, just to get that encapsulated at the tip. I do clean out my dish and apply new monomer so that there is no glitter. Because like I said, you want this to be pure, clean black, almost like a gel nail, you know? So now I'm applying this up. I'm kind of doing it the same way I did the black. I'm just adding more just in the center. And then I will build up at the cuticle area and create my apex and everything. But like I said, I just want this to be applied wet so we don't get any bubbles or dust or anything like that. So now I'm applying my cuticle bead over top of that, place that down. And now I'm going to work that cuticle bead with the clear. So you want to encapsulate your blacks. You don't file into it and make any black, like remove any of the black, because I did have that clear base and then I added the black and now I'm encapsulating it. And then I'm going to work on this nail. And then after I do all of the nails, I do go back and double check to make sure there's no dips or missing clear or any apexes that need building up more and stuff like that. So let's add the clear on this nail, build it up, and we can start with finish filing. So here's how the set looks after application, before filing. Like I said, I like to apply smooth and even so that I have like super minimal finish filing to do. I want it to be easy when it comes to finish filing. So first I'm starting with filing under to even it all out, and then I'm going to file around, just evening everything out and debulking with my carbide bit here on a low speed. And I'm just gonna gently go over everything before going in with my hand file. And I'm not taking color off like as if I was removing. You can see I'm barely touching the nail, just debulking with this, going underneath to make that straight. Because like I said, after your client goes 4+ weeks, the nails start to grow, and some people will bend downwards. So you have to file that upwards now and build the nail upward to create the balance, which is why you still have color underneath when you have colored acrylic, is because you keep filing underneath, which built the color up. Anyways, it's just hard to get all the color off. So now I am filing this. I'm trying to be really gentle. Don't want to over file this nail and file any of my black off. I'm being very careful. Finish filing this with my e-file. Just trying to even everything out. Going around carefully. And then I will mostly do hand filing. So I'm going under, even that out as well. Keep my C curve under there nice, because the C curve also helps with strength. I'm filing this as well, and then I'm going to show you guys my hand filing. For hand filing, I have my metal file board here. I'm going to go over everything with my 100 grit file. That will help just get everything into shape. And I'm going to file underneath and around, and then the other side of the nail file has 240 grit that I put there, and then I also have a 150 grit hand file that I'll use as well. So the 150 grit I will use after my 100, and then I'll go in a little bit with the 240 and buff everything. So that's kind of how my finish filing routine is. So I'm just going over everything, evening it out with my file. Like I said, pulling this upward and then straightening the tip to make sure everything is even and squared, going over everything. So that is my finish filing routine. After filing everything, I go in with my little buffing tool here, and I'm just going to gently buff to get rid of any deep and deep harsh scratches that you'll see with your top coat. But you don't want to over buff or your top coat won't stick. So anyways, that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to buff around the cuticle area and the sidewalls and underneath, just so there's no pieces that are harsh and sticking up that are going to interfere with your top coat. Then you're going to want to remove all the dust, make sure everything is clean, wipe the nail with acetone so you get rid of any like white scratches. As you can see, the nails are nice and clean. And now I'm going in with my no wipe top coat on all the nails, and we're going to cure that. And then we're going to go in with our lines. So I have to add my top coat before I go in with my spider gel, because the spider gel is, it's not 3D, I wouldn't say, but it sticks up a bit. So it's better on top of top coat. So I'm going to show you guys this spider gel. I'm using the Johans brand. It's really nice and easy to work with, but when doing lines upward towards the cuticle area, it's not so easy. I was like struggling a bit. So the pinky worked out fine, and I really liked the way the pinkies and some of the nails looked, but I did struggle with the black nails and had to apply and wipe it a few times to get my lines the way I wanted. So I did that. Wipe it off if you get anything on the skin before curing, and then I got her to cure that. And then here you can see me doing the pinky. So I'm using a dotting tool to pick up and do my line, but I really struggled right here at the, like, I was like, what do I do at the cuticle area? Do I touch the skin or do I stop? So I was I kind of struggled a bit. That might be why the nails also took me a lot longer, because I was struggling with the spider gel. So that's what I did. And then at the end, I decided to add a couple crystals right at the cuticle area to hide that missing gap. So she was down for that because it ended up looking cool. So here I'm going to show you guys adding that spider gel. It's so fun to work with and it looks so cool, but if you make one mistake, you have to wipe everything off. So it can be pretty annoying. And then if you don't pick up a thick enough line, you have to keep going in, and I was like, I messed this one up. So now I have to wipe it and restart. So that's kind of what we did here. I just kept trying to figure it out, doing my lines and stuff like that. And then on some of the fingers, I couldn't film it because I had her turned sideways to do it. And we did sideways lines, and it actually turned out really cool. They were already top coated, and like I said, I added the crystals, and this is the finished design. What do you guys think? I thought they turned out so pretty, and they worked out with the spider gel instead of having to hand draw those lines. Let me know down below what you guys think of this set. Did I do the inspiration justice? And this set took me 2 hours and 40 minutes, I'd say. More like 2 hours and 37 minutes. And then I take photos and stuff like that. But it took me a little bit longer to do. And like I said, it probably would have just been faster to remove and restart. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.